Hello everybody, and welcome back to Trine. I know we had about a week in between Trine videos here, but we were, I guess, more or less waiting up for the build-up for this lengthy-ass video that we have playing before us. And we're starting off with loud crunching noises in the background, which
chips.
They are not part of the gameplay, as
There could be.
some would have you believe.
There are skeletons.
There are skeletons.
I crunching on some bones.
I don't think there are potato chips though.
No, it's some dragon crunching on some skeleton bones.
Oh, okay. Well, I had always assumed that I'll admit my dragon lore is pretty lacking, but I didn't think that they ate skeletons. I thought they preferred.
Hey, you know what they say? You know, like a good wine has to be aged to perfection. A good human has to be aged to perfection too. It just takes so long that they turn to bones.
I did not know that. I guess I need to hang out with more dragons. That's basically what this means. But I'm okay with that. So that being said, this, I know I mentioned before, it is by a pretty wide margin the largest and the longest level in this game.
Woohoo! Don't say something so sexy.
Well, I mean, Trine is a pretty sexy game, so it's true to form. But,
would you also say it's the widest level?
I would say girthiest. How's that?
Oh, okay.
That section? Okay, good. I thought so. But yes, this is the penultimate level in the storyline. So after this is I'm not really spoiling anything by saying this. After this is pretty much boss time. So you can be rest assured that they really pulled out all the stops for making this.
So the boss, the giant skeleton who's bigger than the last giant skeleton.
He kind of resembles a skeleton, now that you mention it, but he's definitely not he's not your run-of-the-mill skeleton type of deal that you would expect to see.
Oh, he's got like a little dab of flesh just right on the top of the head.
I can't remember if he has any flesh, to be honest. It's been a while since I've last seen the fellow, but we'll be seeing him shortly enough, and by shortly enough, I mean in roughly
70 minutes.
27 minutes, yeah. Yeah, I seem to recall from last time that we were starting to bore you a little bit there, Bloodbird. So we're gonna have to pull all the stops to keep you awake, cause
you gotta keep me awake.
Oh, that's the only way. Unless I desperately try and get that shit out. There we go. And I'm intentionally trying to drop it down so that I don't do what I just did there, fall into the lava like.
I don't know why you just didn't fall to the point where you dropped it.
Well, it didn't. It fell and kind of bounced, as you can see. If I would have fallen straight down, I would have also fallen in the lava. So I was.
Yet that happened anyway. So.
I was doomed. It was my fate, my lava-y fate. But as luck would have it, we're still good. And
ooh,
there's
an experience battle there.
That too. Yeah, pulling that lever not only activated the door, but also activated the little system of moving platforms and whatnot, which is quite nice.
Yay!
As we set all that stuff up earlier, we are in good shape. That's what it's all about. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without just more skeletons spawning all over the goddamn place. Because, like,
are there gonna be any new enemies in the last level?
I don't think so. These skeletons that we're seeing now are as armored as they're gonna be, so we're never gonna see like any additional types of shields or anything. This is pretty much.
Hit still kills them, huh?
The hammer, yeah, the hammer still kills him in one shot, as long as it connects with the actual skeleton as opposed to a shield. But yeah, because right there, you can see the shield kind of sitting by down there.
Stupid skeleton, what's wrong with you?
The hammer just freaking pwns. It pwns all the things. Oh god, and I remember this when I was recording this, my mouse button stopped working right at that point. For like whatever reason, I couldn't attack. But then when I respawned the next character, it was back in action, so I remember like panicking, like, oh god, what's happening with my mouse, of all things?
My mouse is none better.
Oh, really?
It annoys me constantly. And I paid like $50 for it, because I thought, well, pay more for something, you get a better result. That ain't the case, apparently.
Yeah, but it's not always a guarantee. Fun fact, my keyboard is on the fritz as we speak right now, and I cannot hit the period key, the D key, or the 0 key. So if I have to type a sentence that has any of those things, I am fucked. But for recording videos,
so you like me, you got the new computer, you just haven't been able to get the new equipment to go with it.
Oh no, I got a new keyboard, and I've had it for.
This is a new keyboard that's broken?
Well, I've had it for close to a year. Well, I guess a little bit more than a year now.
Well, that's not very new.
So it's not crazy old. But
I love the speed up to save 10 seconds.
You know, there were points in this level where as I was editing, I was thinking to myself, this is boring for me to edit it, so I better do what I can to... I'm sorry?
No, you can continue.
There were parts where it was boring for me to edit it, so I was trying to get through as many of those monotonous parts as much as I could without overdoing it, obviously. And this is another... I think... Do I kill myself? I think I kill myself. Yep, there it is. Yeah.
The only problem with doing edits like that is it's something if it's something you realize 14 parts in, you're like, maybe I'm getting a little boring and not editing enough stuff out. I'm gonna start now, and then the audience is already had to endure 14 parts.
Well, I like to think that the entire series hasn't been boring. I just mean that particular.
Not only boring, I just mean like, you know, if you're gonna edit, you know, you gotta keep it in mind. Like I do that sometimes too, but you gotta keep it in mind like the whole time, not just like as you're deep into the editing process. You're like, you know what? I should start speeding these battles. You know, you have Pokemon. So like, I should start speeding these Pokemon battles up more after 12 parts of only showing all the battles. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, there's a balance to be kept there. I know in this particular level's case, the reason I got a little bit more edity was because, at least in previous videos, I never really got the impression that we were backtracking a whole lot. That's usually the one thing I try to edit out as much as possible. Because, I mean, it's just repeated footage, there's no purpose for it. But in that one particular hallway where I kept falling down, it's like, yeah, fuck this, no one's
You threw it with him on it.
Yeah, that happens a couple times, actually, and it's enjoyable, but I wish it actually did damage. And actually, I would actually argue that it's more beneficial to get more edit heavy the later on you go. Because I think early on it's good to not necessarily show repetition, but definitely show the Pokemon battles in that case, and not start editing them out to be shorter until a significant distance into it.
No, in those kinds of games, you only show a Pokemon battle if it's with a new Pokemon.
I think there are exceptions to be had there. I think it has to be. You'd have to check it out on it.
You would show important trainer battles, and you would show important enemy battles, and random encounters. You only show the new Pokemon. If you encountered a Meowth, you would show it, but then the second time you encountered a random Meowth, you wouldn't show it, and you would just edit out all the grinding.
Well, as long as there weren't any other notable occurrences that happened with that second Meowth fight, it would have to be a case-by-case basis. Is all I'm saying.
All right.
But I don't know. It's a balance. It's a tricky balance to keep, I think, because to those that like.
Did you fail at getting those?
Well, I'm realizing that you're not supposed to slide them out because that opening on the leftmost side isn't wide enough to actually get the little plank thing through. So I'm realizing, and in fact, I can't quite remember if you could see it from that view, but there's actually a treasure chest down there as well. So you're definitely supposed to be in that room physically in order to get the treasure chest, of course, but also to get the experience. So,
and pipes.
Yeah. There's more like the whole motif of this level is that it's all not steampunky, but I guess is lava punk. Is that a thing? I feel like it should be.
I feel like I can touch those pipes.
Or thermal punk. How's that? Does that sound?
How about punk?
Not too. This, I think, is another part that I ended up editing, because it is an effort in watching me jump around like an asshole with the grappling hook was something that it's in a case of not quite over-engineering, but overthinking, I don't know what the word is, but it's one of those things where it's like, it shouldn't have been that complicated. But past me was a dummy.
It was.
Past me was young and naive by a couple of weeks, maybe months, but not months, but
I think years.
Oh, jeez. I've gotten so old since then. I've learned so much about Trine and video games and life in general.
You didn't realize you were playing for 7 years, 12 months, and 36 days.
Well, for a 12-hour game, that's pretty impressive. Actually, probably
7 years, 12 months, 36 days. It would be 13 years.
I'm actually taking. I think it's. How long did it take me to beat Trine? Probably like less than 10 hours. It's not a very long game. Like, how long is this? Like, I know there's a way on YouTube to like look at the overall.
You have to look at the playlist.
Yeah, so I'm sure like the overall time isn't quite that.
Playlist. You go and you do the thing, and you go and you do the thing. I can't see playlists. What are you talking?
Yes, I mean, I was just kidding, but
This GunstarGaming.
The reason I'm being so careful in this room is because I know that the moment I flip that switch, shit's gonna hit the fan. So I'm trying to make sure I don't trip any.
4 hours.
Beforehand. 4? Oh wow, that's even quicker. Although it's knowing where all the like the.
But who's to say you didn't play 2 minutes a day once? 2 minutes in a day every week.
Well, you can't save during a level, so that would kind of put a damper on things.
Then maybe you just played one episode every 4 weeks, every month.
You know, it's possible. It's also possible I would fall on some spiked balls like that, like an idiot. That was I remember specifically this point. It's another one of those cases where I'm desperately trying to make sure I don't miss that one experience bottle that I vividly remember being hidden in one of those trap areas, and I ended up killing myself accidentally over it. So was it worth it? No, not the slightest. Do I regret it?
It always is not.
Well, that's usually how it goes. But at least I can take out my aggression on some skeletons, which, if you look in the left-hand corner there, you can actually see there's a spike of ball that's wedged up against that weighted item. And what happens is that skeletons keep spawning there and they can't move, and they're like auto-damage. You can see it right there, he's just bouncing off it, and he just fucking dies from the spike ball damage. So, I guess it wasn't...
Silly skeletons. Spike balls are not for kids.
No, they're not.
What?
I would hope they're not for kids. I would be concerned if they were. But yeah, at least we got that one little enjoyable bit out of my suffering and lots of death. Did I mention there's a lot of death in this particular video?
I heard you say something about that once upon a blue moon.
It's something that bears some attention, I think. The good news is we did finally find this shit, which is something that, yeah, I was gonna say, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure it was a health item, which I was like, oh hell yes.
Did you ever get everyone's upgrades?
Nope. I'm positive that there's probably something I missed. I couldn't tell you.
Well, there's 3 empty spots on each person.
Right, and there's the number of items that are in this game does not equal the number of open spaces. So you will have, I believe, some left over, but I can't.
You can throw items away, can't you?
You cannot actually. There are some.
Oh, so you have to know which items are where and when to get them if you want them.
Well, I mean, you can backtrack with a level select. So, I mean, it's not like if you miss it once, it's gone forever.
No, but once you find out the item, you now have it.
Yeah.
If every character can carry 10, is there more than 30 items?
If every character could... Well, there's less items than there are open slots, is the best way to say.
Counting for all the characters.
Well, that is total. And, of course, the items are interchangeable between the characters. So, if you pick something up as the knight, you can give it to the thief or the wizard. So it's the total number that's what matters at the end of the day. And yeah, I can remember there was like a particular set of items. There's like a red stone, a blue stone, and like a green stone or something like that. Like one's definitely meant for each person. I think I only got the red one in this playthrough, so I know I've missed at least a couple things, but I like to think I got all the exciting ones. Or at least all the ones that I definitely saw and thought of as I played through this. But this was definitely not intended to be a 100% playthrough.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
nice.
That was another good example of me getting ahead of myself with moments.
I wonder what happens if I hold on to this 12,000-pound block and push it over a cliff. Might I go with it? Let's find out.
Well, it was me exploiting that thing with the thief, where if you push up against something and fire the arrows at the same time, it's like an extra push, and then I extra pushed too hard, and then I lobbed it everywhere.
And then we all lolled like we've never lolled before.
Well, like we've never lulled before? Oh man, I wouldn't want to live in a world without that. Oh hey!
I don't think you were supposed to do that.
Yeah, that is definitely not the intended effect, but I'll fucking take it. Yeah, those things are not supposed to stuck on spikes, but... Fuck around.
I love how you touched the spikes for a moment and didn't get hurt.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I did still get hurt by it, and now I'm stuck. Okay, good. It's not gonna knock me off. And of course, there's nothing to grappling hook with the thief, so I have to suck it up and jump with the wizard.
With the wizard.
With the wizard, and as we saw, when you place one of the wizard's summoned boxes or summoned items in the lava, it just melts.
Now, here's what you could do. Why don't you place one of his triangle boxes near that thing and then hook it to get that experience bottle?
Did we have the hook ability for the...
You have the second one, don't you? Which is the one you need the third one?
No, you're right.
No, the second one is hooking. The third one you said was fire.
Yeah. If we've gotten the second one, I honestly can't remember. I think we probably would have gotten the second one by now. But yeah, that would have been an alternate solution instead of trying to use the box instead. But I guess I was...
So what was background and foreground there? I thought you were going to be able to wedge it between something.
Yeah, there's a couple places in that level where you can definitely stand on items that look like they should be in the foreground, but it's a little bit weird. So I think there's only that one experience bottle, so I think we're in pretty good shape otherwise.